Hey all, this is Zenosis recording some more Diablo 2 Resurrected. I also now made a Barbarian, as you can see there. I'm currently 27 and I'm on rank 3. You can see the act, of course, that's in the background. It tells you what act they're on currently and stuff like that. I would say that Duriel was pretty hard. The thing is, of Duriel, you have to drink a lot of time potions. And then basically you have to rely on the Iron Maiden. Yes, you can use the Kerpify and stuff like that, but Iron Maiden is just very good, but then you should have as many minions as possible. The main problem is the Necromancer has no easy way to get back his minions if they die on a boss. That is still something that I wish would just be like boom immediately when you're in a boss room, it just respawns your minions when you enter there, especially from like a teleport or something like that, that would just be a quality of life thing. Because it's just, yes, in Diablo 3, you auto-summon the skeletons, but that's of course kind of explained by you're an FLM. You're not an FLM in Diablo 2. And stuff that, and here we have Pöterpojk, which is meant to be with an not an O, Pöterpojk. And stuff that anyway, this is a very special character because this is not a hardcore character, of course, obviously. And again, plays 8 here, as you can see, game difficulty scale set to 8. This is a all out in 2 mazes. And the thing is, since this is a normal character, this means that all the gems that I've collected on the main characters are here. This means all the potions are here. This means that all the runes are here. Well, the runes that I have. So let's put in this here. This was 30. So yeah.
Good day.
Let's use an ethereal one right here. Sell that, sell this, keep all those, sell this. I kinda know already how I'm gonna do the build and stuff that, because of certain things. The build is going to be quite special because once I have the 20 points into this, next thing I'm going to go for, because it's individual here, is Iron Skin probably, as of that. The increased speed there is very, very nice as well, and actual resistance is just insane. But I'm going to skip out completely on War Cries, which is not something you usually do. Combat skill I haven't decided yet. Frenzy might actually be the best because Frenzy build is just what you want to have because that's what the Barbarian has from the one good Barbarian. Because keep in mind, right, is that when Diablo 2 Resurrected first was released, they didn't have the whole quote-unquote individual skills, what they want to call it, like they weren't like different builds, like all the Barbarian builds were the same. Jewel of Freedom. Yeah, let's use a regular old Jewel of Freedom, nothing X on it. Jewel of Freedoms are absolutely insane. Now I kind of wish, right, that there would have been a Jewel tab also, and stuff that used to put Jewels into. I know that Jewels can have different stats, so that's probably why that doesn't work, and stuff that, but yeah, I also think that, for example, if you already have a Horadic Cube, it's just go in here and stuff that, right? But maybe it's just because I have the cube equipped and not have the cube here. So I don't think you can put the cube into the shared stash and stuff that. And keep in mind, of course, you need level 12 for this second set of stone, and you need level 15 for that. And for perfect, you need level 18. However, here's the thing, right? You can still craft with the perfect ones because I believe it's perfect. Like the red one here, the perfect hair thing, is what you use to craft certain of them, like the melee builds, the craftable gear and stuff like that. Some of the craftable gear is of course very good. I do have a lot of damage here because These are still with only 2 flawed gems, so that is 40 poison damage on the scepter itself. Scepters are really good to buy as the mace weapon. Do we have no, we don't have one yet with 2 available. And I did not get on her no yet. She does have 2 open sockets though on the studded leather. That's 1 socket said. More 2 sockets. And maximum stamina. I don't know if boots are available yet, or if it's level 12 for boots. Like the ones that have like come available, like the fast round walk boots. Addition is quite special because I went with 2 flawed gems into that. I do also have a stronger thing that I could wait for here. That is 11 on that. Of course, if you would just have several of this one, then you could gain 19 each time into a shield, and then you could basically just have the all resistance covered, you know, and stuff that, right? Which might be boring. Now, the best thing, of course, is if later on there will be, of course, be things that are quite special. So the cold planes, we have already gotten that, so we need to do that next. Oh, this is good. Yeah, our health is a bit low because I haven't invested a single point into vitality yet. Now, your vitality does increase naturally, actually, with all of the classes. Even if you don't get a single point into vitality, I believe it will still go up naturally, because I don't think I have anything that increases my health. No. Yeah, I don't have anything that increases my health, and yet my health is still higher in the boss at start. Light healing. Yeah, skip there. Yes. Javelins can sometimes sell for a bit. Throwing daggers also is good. 1 pray, 1 sacrifice. Key maybe, yeah. Do you want to go inside a cave? This is not hold, or this is the cave, yeah. Let's just go inside the cave because there is going to be a golden chest probably on floor 2. Because it wouldn't bother saying level 1 if it's not a multi-floor thing. Because if it would just say cave, then you know that it's just going to be 1 floor. Okay. Amulet, please. Lost dexterity, okay. Now, I believe you don't technically share XP with the mercenary. I don't think that mercenary is like makes the XP gain that you get like worse or anything, but yeah. Healing potion, chest. Fulminating, Hungry Deaths, more pointed to strength. More pointed to Mace Masters. Currently, attack rating 120, damage plus 78%, 24 chance of critical strike. So different weapons gives you different things. Not everything gives crit strike, if I remember correctly. There is crit strike, there is crit strike. No, they've changed that. No, yeah, this throwing master 9% chance to not consume quantity. Throwing weapon skill, however, from my understanding, is not all throwing weapons. Sadly, maybe it is. So I'm pretty certain these are meant to only be throwing access. That this does not affect like javelins, because javelins is not a throwing weapon. Javelins count as spears. So javelin is its own class. Yeah. Javelin does not count as being a throwing class. Because of that, you know. So that is special, of course. Obviously, I'm sticking to player state and stuff that even the only time when I like change it is against the countess. Yes, you can get very, very high level, by the way, on Act 1, depending on how much stuff you do. But the reason why we do some like extra stuff on Act 1 specifically, the reason why you do a bunch of extra stuff is of course because that will allow us to have higher chance to get certain set items, I feel like. Just the throwing thing, drink that. I'm just gonna drink a bunch of these minor potions here. It's a buckler. We don't need that. Need a ring though. I got a ring in there last night. Codex. Plus 2 energy. Yeah, really, really bad rings so far. I don't think we need to drink. And getting the flame one is pretty interesting, of course, since the right. So short staff. Let's move over here. A bunch of stuff. Short staff, and you are. We used about this one, yeah. We do not keep that. Let's get more keys. Now, sadly, is it in it's in the Warcries, which is always weird. I always thought that why would those be in the Warcry 3 and stuff that like these? Find potion, the Grimoire, and find item and stuff that they should have been somewhere else, you know, and stuff that, yeah. Because you can see there's a lot of roots in some of the trees and stuff that where they could put extra skills if they ever like would want to put in like more stuff into the game. Because I definitely, as I've said, for example, that on the Necromancer, like, and it might be unpopular, like being like, oh, 3 or whatever skeletons, or maybe 4 should be the maximum amount. But then, of course, that they would add like multiple different ones, that they would add like archers, and maybe it would be like oh, once you spend enough points into skeleton master, then the skeleton changes, or just have something later on be like skeletal champions that you can raise, whatever. Or maybe the skeletal champions are strong enough so you don't even need a corpse for it, because that's the thing, right? If there could be like later minions that are not like required of having a corpse, then that would be a big deal. And then you maybe say that, oh, that would just ruin the Necromancers, but it's always right that the Necromancers that are powerful, right, are always meant to be that you don't need corpses to summon. Stuff that's just what I feel is a thing. You know, that's to do with the power level of the Necromancer, like the most powerful Necromancers don't need corpses, you know, because I always felt like the thing that makes it very annoying is when they make it so that you're reliant on having to get what do you call it, a corpse explosion. People say to make Necromancer works, but I was saying that it's actually bullshit a lot of times. There's a zombie. Stamina potions. Re-up.
I'm overburdened.
Okay, so drink the weakest potions. Decided me to drink that. Drop. Hold square to put them in belt. Put over the stamina potions. Over this. Key. Drink those. Move over that. Boom. More space. Poison resist actually. 3 decks, 7% poison resist. Not worth it because of the size. Because that's the thing, you have to realize that on the really big ones, the stats that they give have to be really good for it to be worth it. Stuff that I don't know if Nightmare is the earliest place that drop the skillers and stuff that. If it's like Nightmare Traveling Call. Or basically like Nightmare, like Cross Bazaar or whatever, right? Where you open a specific chest, you open because they will count as super chests, stuff that, and then all you do is just run around there and do that, you know. So this is 8 because I'm used +1 strength from something, which I think is a ring. There is just +1 strength. Yeah, that ring, yeah, ring of strength. Music is so good. I would like to see a mode, for example, that has like rune words, yes, because of course those would be like challenge trophies. I think that should be in the game. Like there should be like a challenge set of trophies that are like harder to get, like trophies, stuff like that. And you could say that certain ones are already challenged, like getting like certain characters to 99 hardcore. But there's only like getting one character to level 99 in hardcore. It's not like got to get one of every class and stuff like that, right? Which would be interesting, of course, obviously, right? To show that, oh, hey, you have really, really mastered hardcore and stuff like that, that could be cool. And stuff like that, so yeah. And of course, we will be able to make a prismatic amulet, but I believe, right, that craftable gear is actually affected by your character's level. So if you make it at a higher level, it's better, because prismatic, of course, would be like all resist. From my understanding, is always what it will be, and stuff like that, So I don't know if it will always low roll on the level, or if I should use craft it on a high level character, or if it's actually worth getting on a lower level character. I've been using with filters here. Select a profile, there, go boom, and then we don't want that on, we only want high mana potions on. And then I have light potions, standard potions, great potions and super potions. And you can see you can do that, for example, to side stuff, holding in the L1 button. Right. Yeah, the XP in here is actually very, very good. Not gonna lie. It's still pretty good. I will probably just get to 100 strength. I think it's going to be enough. And stuff that. However, there are certain rumors that I'm not gonna go with. You know, like I'm not a big fan of. What is it? Is it Enigma? I think it is. It's one of the rumors that basically gives you a teleport. It's not that with charges on it, I believe it is. Because I really think that it's stupid to let other characters have access to charges and stuff that just teleport charges in general and stuff that, right? And I know that if they remove that now, for example, that you would just change speedrunning forever and stuff that, you know, and you might say that, oh, that will make speedrun like a miserable experience. Stuff that, but then maybe speedrunners would actually have to like invest in the armor. Stuff there, because the thing that you have to realize is armor does not work when you're moving around. There's one character though that is an exception to that. That is of course the Amazon, if you get certain skill points on the Amazon itself. That's a lot of stuff. So formulating blue javelins, healing potion, keys. There we go. Heal, kill, or whatever you should say. Javelins, you are maximum damage on plus. I thought there was something shiny over there. Oh, money. Money! I don't think we're going to be tank and spank Barbarian though, because right, the goal is to use some other maces later on. I'm not fully explored yet though. We did. Now there's a path to the right there that we can get to. So that is nice, very nice indeed. And 12 for the next like tier of gemstone. And then it's like what perfect was level 18 on the perfect thing. Oh right, this is basically full explode, yeah. But I do not want to use up a perfect and stuff that, especially because I want to craft that prismatic thing. Stuff like that. Yeah, they are giving a lot less. Right, this is the way that's not the burial grounds. Nope. You can see that on the map. That's the burial grounds. Ship rubies are nice. Stony Field. Oh man, It's Ian's field stoner thing. It's like some more fun. Anyway, more strength. And we go, boom. Now that became available, they're level 12. So generally speaking, we need 24 before we can pick up Frenzy. So we need to put 1 point into Bash, 1 point into double swing, and then a double throw, and then into Frenzy eventually, and stuff that. And then whatever gives you bonus into Frenzy. Although I mean, Frenzy should only be for your dual wielding actually. But because Frenzy does not work with the one-hand weapon, or does it? Read. Yeah, it works at once. Because otherwise, if we go single weapon, we need to either go for Berserk or go for Whirlwind. Although the jump thing is actually very good, the leap attack. You might already know why leap attack is good. Because leap attack actually has very high hit rate. Leap attack won't really miss. And if you have a slow swinging weapon, then like it's like really good. Interesting thing is that certain characters have different like attack speed, different things, if that makes sense. Okay. The stones are of course very good to get to, because if we get to the stones, then of course we will have, if we get to where the stones are, actually let's teleport first there. So first in here, rubies, 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 peaches, 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 peaches. Peaches, 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 peaches. Because you can see we're only missing the ruby there. I did have a ruby before actually and stuff that, but I ended up using it.
Greetings.
Right, so repair first. Repair, repair, repair. Sell, 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 sell. Sell, 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 and sell. Pretty decent amount of monies, right? I did spend a lot trying to roll for a certain gear piece, like in the shop. No 2 slots on that yet. In the 2 slots, no. Let me actually check the boots. Let's check these skates. No run speed, no run speed, no run speed. Helm? Nope. You know, we should have had some shopping music to turn on, you know, and stuff that, right? Because, you know, I don't think the better Skepters are available in Act 1, I don't think at all. Because then, of course, there are... I think you eventually get to triple sockets Skepters eventually. And so that now the good thing though is that the really huge Skepter, what is it called? I think it's called War Skepter or Grand Skepter or something like that. There's a Skepter later on that is like absolutely massive, and those things, the reason why they are massive, like why one of their swords, for example, are really, really massive. Level 3 Ice Bolt attack, that's actually very, very good. Superior Skepter. That would be really, really good though. Or like an actual... Although I don't know how I'm gonna build a paladin. There are a lot of like different interesting things you can do with paladin nowadays. Do we have any accuracy on the belt? No. Why does it feel like there's such a low chance now? Like, have they black made it worse? Okay, dexterity, defense. Nah. Like, I'm not 100% certain what is going on and stuff that, you know. I do think that the inventory looks a bit tiny though and stuff that, right? Because there's a lot of real estate here and stuff that, right? To like expanding the inventory. Now, do I think that they would like they did a new expansion and then they didn't do a new act or whatever, right? The main problem is, of course, that how do you avoid ruining the story? But then, of course, Diablo 3 kind of already ruined the story. I didn't think Diablo 3 was the worst thing in the world because it did have some cool cinematics. Stuff that, and I liked the whole idea with Imperius and Tyrael and stuff that, right? And Tyrael used, you know, kind of sacrificing himself, if that makes sense. It's not the same. No, it's not. Because that one was talking the last time.
May I help you?
Maybe this is the same. No. That one wasn't there last time, I don't think. And usually speedrunners just skip, you know, rescuing Kane, you know, which I think is a bit stupid considering what supposedly can drop in Tristram. Although I don't know, can it drop on the very, very first difficulty, like, or do you need it to be on Nightmare? Because I think it's specifically Griswold that can drop it, but I think that all the enemies in Tristram has a chance to drop it. It's like very, very low and stuff that. Superior ring mail. Because you need to, of course, go far out enough here. First hit recovery, that. No. 2-socketed cap though. Is this 2 sockets? That's 1 socket. We can get that as a 2-socket though, so we can put this here. Do you have anything? You know, you don't have a helmet yet at all. Now there is, of course, the Sander set, which normally starts stopping on Nightmare and stuff that. You can get it early though. The Sanders is actually pretty good because the Sanders have like the boots itself, even before you get another piece of it that has like 40% like boot speed. Which makes it like an insane drop, like you want it even if you're not a spellcaster. So there's a shimmering, is what a lower level of like prismatic is called. So that's some to start on the studded leather. It's another two on the cap though. Might just have to go with cap then. You know, not the best thing in the world, of course, obviously. Sad. Dexterity, what are you? No, maybe I'm not high enough level yet. I know that that's something that I should really learn, like at what level certain things become available, especially when it comes to gambling. Because here's the thing, right? When you're meant to gamble, you're actually meant to have, like, go into the shared stash, put a lot of money in on your offline characters into the shared stash, so that you can like move the money around. and then basically you want to make sure that you get certain things. So here, nope. Skull cap. You take those. Right, and we go in the mercenary and you give her this.
I'll put that to good use.
Did we have tall yet? I think we do actually. Correct. I think. No, we have F. We have Doll, we have Shale. I kind of wish that they would show you what the rune is here, although you kind of meant to. I think this is where Tall is, so Tall is over here. I know that this is L. This is Ort. This stuff that's here. Because we need Tall F, of course, obviously to gain stealth. Fire resist, no, it's, that's fire resist on helm. Now the best thing is to want that better helm for the thing, and you won't have like, what is it, Nef? I think it's Neftir for Nadir, Neftir. Instead of that, which so we have F, we have If, we have Dol, we have Shale. Yeah, fast hit recovery, fast block rate on the shielding, just attack speed on weapons. And weapons lifespan. Ammun. Ammun is supposed to be used in spirit. It's like Tal, Tool, Ort Amn is what spirit is. And that is both in weapons and in other things. Eventually, once you reach a certain level, the ring mails become way more common on her. We have 2 chances with boots. Nope. Yo, double the socket on the helm. Yo, let's go. Nice, very nice. And then you can go with this. Now there's also the whole thing of like, oh, do we take ore, do we take lore? And stuff like that, because lore is 1 plus skillers. And stuff like that. Now the thing that's good about lore is of course that yes, it's plus to all skills. It's not as good, obviously, as getting, you know, what do you call it? It's not as good as getting, what do you call it? I forgot its name. But yeah. So we have that now. We need a ring mail with 2 open slots. Or I will eventually just take what she has, like one of these, the standard letters instead. Otherwise, but yeah. Although it might be worth waiting until Act 2, depends on a few scenarios. So that, right?
Yes?
Yes? Chainmail gloves, nice. Enhanced. Okay. But I don't need to look on helms at all, right? Because she already has one of these helms. So the only helm upgrade that she could get is another one. Those. Do I have a good bow on her yet? No, I do not. So maybe we should have looked for bows. This time as well, okay? So, boots. Oh, fast hit to cover though. Nope. Oh. Let's look for bow here. Has triple slot on the bow. Yes. Triple slot bow. Boom. What is it? It's something. I think it's like tal something. Tal. I forgot exactly what it is. I think it starts with I'm pretty certain. Because basically to make edge is what I'm thinking about. So we could use level 12 stuff now. What other effects though? F, managed for some weapon damage. Anywhere. Use the requirements -15. And also level 18 though.
Not here.
You know what? Just crank in one of these so far. Actually, you know what? Even though we are a bit far away from it, let's put in one of those. So you want to have like 3 different sources of poison. This is basically the best combination aside from getting that one rune. So you want to have because you can see it's different on the timer there, so you want to have the 3 best gems basically in order to make your deal like an insane amount of damage. Of course, you won't be high enough level yet to use the bow because there's level 15 on the bow. But yeah, this bow will become absolutely insane. Stuff that, and I would definitely say that it's worth doing the perfect on that thing. Definitely worth. We could theoretically also get another scepter now, and then do the thing on the scepter. But we still need to get the ring mail. I'm gonna look a little bit more for the ring mail and for the boots. I hope the boots can drop already, or beyond the percent. Because the boots are just so important. Okay, there's no boots. There's that though. It's a belt though. Belt is worth checking sometimes because sometimes you can roll something good on the belt.
Yes.
Boots. Helm. Yeah, so the faster run walk is good. There's actually also, I believe, there's like a belt with faster run walk, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Greetings.
Okay. We check those. I think this needs to get more mastered at 20 and stuff that is what we need to reach.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, ring mail isn't common enough yet. We could just get a few more levels and then return in the shop, but it will probably be easier to find. Now, of course, in Act 2, there is a better flail that we can use for the poison and stuff that, you know. Okay. I was hoping for ett Madame Hardled hoppning.
Good evening.
Maybe use gamble for the boots then, because if you're gambling, then I believe it ignores like what normally can appear on the shop. I don't know if we have enough cash for it, because it might actually appear already, like a better armor. Because I know that chainmail can appear early. I know that scale mail can appear already in Act 1. There's like a bunch of things. Some of it is linked actually to your strength, I believe. But yeah, scale mail was there. So since we saw scale mail, that is actually a pretty good indication. Yeah, there's chainmail. Chainmail is 18,000 though. How much do you sell for? You sell for quite a bit though. Scale mail might actually be worth getting though, if the scale mail is a lot cheaper, because you can still hire on a scale mail. Only 30,000. Thank you. And we roll poison length reduce. That's not the greatest, but it's 59 defense on the scale mail. And it's a 44 strength and requires level what? Level 5, yeah. So this is just a very nice scale mail. How much cash do we have left now? Yeah, we only have 3,000 now. So let's continue on. Yeah, that took a while, of course, obviously. Wasn't the best spent of our time there. Hungry days. Do we have any? Stamina, yes. Good. Now, do we want to go for 100 already though? Because we have like currently we have like 85 is what this is comparable to. Yeah. Or do I start cracking vitality or dexterity at this point? I mean, we do have very, very good attack rating so far. And stuff there, but it's not like super high attack rating wise, like, you know. Because the goal with the mace build is not to use the one-handed maces and instead like use them as like two-handed ones, stuff there. Because there are some really, really good two-handed maces that you can get your hands on. Sadly, our stamina is pretty low actually. The stamina is only 103. It's pretty low. However, there are of course the passives that just counteract that, you know, and stuff that. Also, you benefit the most from vitality points out of all the characters. When you play as the Barbarian, you get the most amount from every single point. On certain characters, for example, on the Necromancer, the vitality points gives you very, very little and stuff that, meaning that you need a lot more vitality on that character. And normally the Barbarian buffs his health with like with the shouts and stuff that, so not having access to the shout is going to be different, but that's also going to be exciting, of course, with how we build the character. And yeah, it drains faster now because of certain things. It does drain a whole lot faster. So I stuck with just this on her, yeah. Yeah, she's only level 8 actually. She is pretty far behind. I don't believe that she needs to get a kill herself though, I don't think. Maybe she does. I'm not exactly how it works. I thought that she gets the XP even if she doesn't get the kill. Because otherwise we should just let her get a bunch of kills. But then of course she needs a stronger weapon to really start getting kills. So it came to pass that the Countess here we have the guy, the Rakamishu. He does very quick blue and yellow ring. Prayer potion. Right. Yeah, Rakamishu has very, very high rare drop chance. Oops. Okay. Yo, Bloodfinger. Welcome to the show. Are you? Plus attack rating, 1 plus light radius. That's right. That's pretty good for a ring, actually. Because it's the cast rate, the attack rating, the strength, fire, and the poison res. Not too shabby. Good early ring. Because that's the thing, like yellow rings are just so important to get your hands on. But it's so weird that you have to hold the button down to hide certain things and stuff that I always thought that was weird, right? That you have to do that, you know, and stuff that. But because I definitely thought that the loot filter should just work immediately when stuff are dropped on the ground immediately instead, you know. Okay. Feel refreshed. Ooh, or scary. Really, you're a scary girl. But you only have stone skin, so they don't do a lot of damage. Healing anyway. Get back, shit. Right. Yeah, we picked up another one. Awesome. Nice. Let's check. There's Steiger class. Skill, more skillful. Yeah, you can deal a lot of damage if you actually crit and stuff that, which is important. Super shrines are pretty good because the map is already fixed. However, the shrines aren't fixed, by the way. There's something to remember. For example, like if you get a certain area, I forgot which area it is that people use, if it's Stony Field or if it's another area. Because basically what you want to be using in Act 1, if you really, really want to, it's entirely possible to make it like very, very quickly. Is to make it like perfect crafting, like craft perfect gear, and then all you do is start over and over, run through one of the early zones, and then basically all you look for is the gem shrine, and then you stick with one gem. So in our case, for example, if you find a gem shrine, we want to make sure that we stick to having a ruby in the inventory. Stuff that the highest ruby that we possibly have. And then we can start making a bunch of perfect rubies. Stuff that's basically what you want to be doing. There's the teleporter, the stone field. Teleporter, good. Actually, the fact that those three are in that specific location is actually very good. Because that means that they're very close to the teleporter, meaning they're a very, very quick check actually. This is insane. But I also kind of wish that the game would just remember if you've already completed on a certain character, for example, then there should always be a horrendous cube functionality. You shouldn't even need it as an item. Basically, like in the stats, there should always be a horrendous cube, even if you're carrying the horrendous cube around yourself. So that you can always do the whole runes combination and stuff like that, right? Or it should just get moved into the inventory automatically when you open up the stats tab. You know, and stuff like that. Because as you can see, this is very good. Like there's triple shrines there and stuff like that. And then one shrine over there. Right, that's because I ran out of stamina, that's why that happened. I got forced to walk there, even though I switched on the walk itself, but yeah, but then you cannot switch on the thing earlier. Wonder if did we already interact with this shrine? Yeah, I think we did. Oh, what's the house? Okay. I mean, this is very, very nice, of course. I might have to go eat after this, I will see. So let's start going into the caves, the underground. So where the XP is very, very good in comparison to the plains itself. Now this place can get scary if the correct enemies spawn. There are certain enemies that are still very deadly, which is like important when your hardcore character is low level. Because for example, if you get like extra strong, for example, or if you get archers that curse, and you get several archers, then yeah, that's really bad. Same thing in the tower, you can die in the tower, for example, even if you're high level and stuff like that, because of just the damage you can take. So it's very risky playing with the amount of vitality we have on the Barbarian. But I think we might actually go with vitality here, because we're at 86 or 85 then strength. We're at 85 strength. Because 85 is still enough for quite a while in terms of what armor we can use. Vitality definitely is better at this point, I feel like. And use 5 points in the vitality would be a lot of health for the Barbarian, just because of the way it works. Right, so one more point to Mace Mastery. Okay, you can see there, so we have 79 life. 1 point is 83. 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, so it's four life points every level up. So that used to go from 79 to 99, 79, 89, 99. You gain 20 points of life, 20 points of life for 5 points into vitality, 20 points of life. That's like absolutely insane. that is absolutely insane, meaning you become a very tanky boy. Very, very